Welcome into Factfinder Investigates. I'm Brandon Stitt. Consumers are warning you about a Wichita pool contractor who they say are taking advantage of clients. There are three companies: Premier Pools and Spas, Oasis by Design, and Swim Now Pools and Spas. All of them are being run or have been run by Tom Binyon. I spoke with clients who say they want him stopped.
On the outside appearance, this guy looks like a great guy, but at the end of the day, I mean, he's just taking money from people.
Brian Warden hired Tom Binyon under the name Premier Pools and Spas to install his family pool.
He showed up, he tells you what you want to hear, says we're going to put a pool in. This was March of 21.
Kyle Jones also wanted a pool.
You know, we have a really nice backyard and a pool fit quite well.
Ashley McAuliffe, same thing.
We wanted to get a pool in while the kids were little.
All three say they had issues with the work Binyon completed.
It came to where he wasn't doing anything. I wasn't getting my pool done. I threatened to sue him. He blocked me.
Our main problem was the plaster.
Before we even got a hole dug, we were getting pushed back.
Ryan's pool was eventually finished.
It was real bad work.
Kyle says the plaster in his new pool wasn't done correctly, causing streaks. To try and fix it, Binyon's crew did an acid wash.
That acid washing didn't get rid of all the streaks, but it created really stalagmites on the bottom of my pool where we would walk on the bottom and we'd have bloody feet, essentially.
Ashley says her pool wasn't finished at all.
He did not finish it. We didn't have a cover. We didn't have any of our equipment hooked up. We were missing all of the lights.
Kyle and Ashley both hired new contractors in order to be able to use the pool that they thought they had already paid for.
$25,000 later, I had to have it replastered and have some coping fixed around the edges.
We had to have somebody come and finish it. We're not going to let our kids stare at this dirty pond in the backyard all summer.
The worst contractor I've ever dealt with in my life.
I don't think we'll ever see any of our money back. It's gone.
And after our story first aired, the Sedgwick County District Attorney's Office told us it's opened an investigation into Tom Binyon's business practices. They'll determine if he's violated Kansas's Consumer Protection Act. Now, Binyon declined to do an on-camera interview the day that our story aired. He did say, though, that his current company is experiencing financial problems, which is leading to issues with him completing contracted projects. An update that Factfinder first told you about: the U.S. Postal Service in Wichita. U.S. Senator Jerry Moran says the mail processing center in Wichita will not close. Moran says he learned this during a conversation with the Postmaster General. The Postal Service confirmed those same details to Factfinder last week. We began asking those questions after the president of the local postal workers union said the Wichita processing center could move to another state. Abortion remains a prominent topic more than 2 years after the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. The debate continues to play out in Kansas, the first state that voted to protect access after the opinion. Factfinder investigator Sean Logging visited a southeast Kansas community where new access is being offered.
It's nothing prominent. A building on the south edge of Pittsburgh that's Planned Parenthood's fourth health center in Kansas opened in late summer. It's welcomed by some.
A prime location right here in the corner of Kansas.
Like the members found at the Liberal Ladies Who Lunch, as a provider for health care, specifically women's health care, in the four-state area where Kansas stands separate for not having restrictive abortion laws.
The extreme things that they have done in some of these states are just are costing lives.
While others oppose its presence, Judy Jo Allen among them.
I was very, very upset, and I thought for sure they couldn't come in.
This stance because abortion goes against her and other people's religious beliefs. Outside of the center, abortion right opponents sit trying to redirect those who come to other local resources that don't provide abortions, including a women's health clinic.
I believe as a Christian that God says the babies are made at conception, therefore we can't just kill it if it's an inconvenience. And since there are so many avenues that women can take if they choose not to keep it.
Kansas has seen an influx from other states for abortion and women health-related services, namely Texas, Oklahoma, and Missouri, according to data collected by KDHE. Susie Sheeks-Hammonds at the Liberal Ladies Who Lunch group says restrictions in those states don't just prevent abortions, which she says is an important right for women to have, but it prevents health care for miscarriages and other pregnancy-related complications.
Life and death. Many times, so many pregnancies are just not problematic, but boy, you get in trouble. And it's trouble that's solvable.
Susie says she knows some of the people who volunteer at the Planned Parenthood clinic as patient advocates to help patients who come to the health center. It offers abortions, birth control, pregnancy testing and planning, and other health services.
It's going to be wonderful, but it's scary at the same time because there is a large group that will oppose this.
Those against the clinic remain present and vocal. Judy Joe says she doesn't want to see it stay here long.
I would sit in front of it and just beg God with all the verses that he gives us in the Bible to not even let it open, to make something happen, to whatever he could do.
I also spoke with other people when in Pittsburgh who told me they didn't know about it or had no opinion. In the 2022 constitutional amendment vote, 55% of voters in Crawford County voted to maintain the right to abortion as part of the state constitution.
The fact that anyone can just make an infant product and put it on the market is really scary. And there is this assumption that if something's on the market, then it's safe. And as a first-time parent, I would have thought the exact same thing.
Why new inventions can hit store shelves without specific testing, and how your family could end up being test subjects. That's next on Factfinder Investigates.